Hello and welcome to the weather update. It's about 10 o'clock on the 17th of September, and we started off with sunshine and clouds kind of came in, and now we're already dealing with rain. As you see here on the satellite image, we've got the thicker clouds coming in, and this is what it looked like earlier today. So we did have clear skies earlier in the morning before the clouds kind of started coming in on us as we got toward later in the day, like early afternoon, like 2 o'clock, I would say. Started coming in, but morning was mostly sunny. And this is all associated with a cold front, a very slow-moving cold front, because there's a separate wave of low pressure that's going to enhance the rain for tomorrow. Originally, it was supposed to be a simple cold front, but now it's deciding to be an all-day affair. Or, at least it's going to be, you're going to have rain chances for at least the next, I would say, probably 15 to 16 hours. So let's go look at our current conditions across the area, and you'll see that we have temperatures that are around 70, and you can definitely feel that the humidity's starting to increase a little bit. We'll show you what some of those clouds looked like. You can see, again, these were the altocumulus clouds that we had around throughout the day. It was kind of pretty, the altocumulus there, different layers of it, and another look at it there. There's some cirrus mixed in as well, and another look at things at the lake this evening, the sky again. So let's look at what the day was like at Islip. 70, the dew point 64, the winds are south-southeast now. But we did have lower dew points earlier in the day. We can load that or not. All right, finally you loaded. Okay, so here you go. So, had to pause it. You can see here, yeah, dew points were low in the morning. You could see that, and then they were rising throughout the day. But all in all, it really wasn't that warm today. Only in the 70s, pretty much, because of that sea breeze and then the advancing clouds coming in. So let's go look at our highs for the day. And you can see generally low to mid 70s, pretty much. Though as you got toward New Jersey and New York City, it was closer to 80 degrees, whereas a little warmer. Let's look at our lows. 43 at West Hampton. Wow, that's pretty low. Other than that, we had mid-50s. Of course, the alley didn't cool off. It was right around. It didn't only drop to around 60 in the alley, like LaGuardia. Got down to 45 in East Hampton. Mid-40s also in the New Jersey Pine Barrens as well. 44 at Coyle Field. Wow. There was some really good radiational cooling last night. Too bad I couldn't enjoy any of it. So let's go look at our statistics for the day, and then we're going to talk about this rain that we're going to have to deal with here. So Islip, 74 was the high, only 1 degree below normal. The low of 50, though, however, was 9 degrees below normal, so they had some nice radiational cooling there. And the average of 62 was 5 degrees, so we're 5 degrees below normal for the day. Central Park was 1 degree below normal due to the day. And again, it's because they didn't get the radiational cooling, 59. So again, this is like an urban area I'm living in here. It just doesn't cool off at night. We don't get radiational cooling. I miss radiational cooling, but we don't get that where I'm at. So let's go look at that radar. All right, you can see the radar here. There's the rain already blossoming up all over the place. You can see right here. There it is. We can look at the radar here, and you can see again some moderate to some heavier rain in North Jersey, and this is all again part of the slow-moving system that we're going to have to deal with. That's going to have the rain lingering around for at least the first half of tomorrow, unfortunately. And I know I wanted to go to that committee meeting, and now I'm going to have to do it through Zoom because I don't want to deal with the rain going. I'm not going to deal with that. So let's go look at the models, I guess. First, let's go to the MODIS, actually, just show you the MODIS a little more, just show you some more of the satellite imagery here that we have here. And you'll see this is what's left of Lee over here. And if we go to the weather and hazards map here, go back to observations here. It's not even being tracked by the Hurricane Center anymore, you could see. It's not really any strong winds being a few areas that have some strong wind gusts here in Newfoundland. Still getting some wind gusts here. Humid too. Dew point up to 60 there. That's pretty far north, but they're in that tropical air. But it's just breezy conditions. It's not really going to cause too much damage. Scattered, very scattered power outages in that area. Let's go to the Hurricane Center. So the only one we've got right now is Nigel. Tropical Storm Nigel, which is already very strong, ready for a tropical storm. And you can see here, as of 5 p.m., its location is 25.1 north, 49.5 west, about 1,050 miles east-southeast of Bermuda. Maximum sustained winds are 65 miles an hour, moving northwest at 13 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure, 994 millibars, 29.36 inches. So, as of 5 p.m., the maximum sustained winds, again, have increased to, this is a storm. We'll just go the extent here. So, tropical storm force to index 10 out to 140 miles from the center. Another rather large storm again. And they have it, again, becoming a hurricane. In fact, they have it briefly becoming a major hurricane. But as you can see, it's going to stay way out in the ocean and not really bother anyone at this point. So we will go ahead and look at Nigel on the satellite image here. So let's go ahead and look at that. So here's Nigel on the satellite image. And you can definitely see it's starting to really, look at all that blossoming there. So this is definitely going to be, I think, on the cusp of becoming a hurricane. I think by tomorrow we'll definitely going to be looking at a hurricane. And perhaps even, maybe even by tomorrow night, a Category 2 or maybe even a 3 hurricane, because it looks like it's rapidly strengthening, looking at all that blowing up there. But again, luckily, it is not a storm that is going to be affecting land. And that's the main thing that I want to point out to you. Let's look at the CONUS satellite view. And you can see there's that big area, all this dry air here. This is all heading for us. See a little bit of smoke there, too. We're going to talk about the smoke as well. Let's go to the southeastern Canada satellite view. Because the fires have been flaring up a little bit in some areas. You can see a lot of smoke over here. For the northwest, look at that, British Columbia, and also Alberta. Keep your eye. Look, my hand is. Look at that. That's a pretty big fire right there. So those fires are continuing to rage. Here we are into September, and there's just no end in sight to this. And I want to point this out to you on the MODIS as well, if we can. You can see all the smoke here. It's kind of absorbed in the clouds here at this point, but there's quite a bit of smoke over northern Canada. You can see all that smoke. It's pretty much it's in northern Canada. Maybe a little piece of it going down here, but most of it's staying to the north. I want to show you yesterday, though, because this was rather interesting. Take a look at this. This is the smoke that is in just look at that for a minute. That's pretty crazy. That's the smoke that is getting embedded in the low pressure system. And you can see all the smoke here from these fires. Again, this is British Columbia. We've got fires in Alberta. It's calmed down in Northwest Territories, but we still have plenty of active fires in British Columbia and Alberta, and perhaps even Saskatchewan as well a little bit. So, the fires continue to be a big problem in Canada. That's for sure. So let's go to the models here, and we'll talk about the weather pattern that we will have. That will evolve, and after the rain tomorrow, will be dry, right? So let's go to the. In fact, we're going to do this. We're going to start with the local first, and then I'll go more to the long range. How's that sound? I'll do this a little differently here. So let's go to the HRRR here, and again, look at that rain. So here's the showers that we're going to have, and then you can see what happens tomorrow morning. Going to be a soaker coming in here. Soaker for a good part of tomorrow morning, and it's going to linger into the afternoon. You can see HRRR has it lingering until probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Then there's another set of showers with the actual cold front probably that'll come through in the evening, and then finally this thing gets out of here. But it just pops this big low over here. So soaker tomorrow, it looks like, for the first half of the day. If we go to total accumulated precip, you'll see now HRRR is ramping up in the amount of rain we're going to have. 1 to 2 inches possible across Long Island. And the models just keep this storm, this low. It just keeps getting wetter with each run with this storm, unfortunately. So let's go to the. Yeah, with that, I'm definitely not going to that meeting tomorrow. I'll speak it via Zoom. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to deal with all that rain. Now the NAM, you can see the same thing here. It's one thing if it was close by and it was on Long Island, but I don't like traveling in heavy rain. And you can see it's just going to be a soaker tomorrow. The first half of tomorrow. Here's the NAM. Not quite as robust as the HRRR, but again, I think we're going to see a lot of rain. So a soaker, and that gets out of here. But you can see that instead of a simple cold front, we have this low pressure because, again, we got all that warm water offshore feeding energy into that low pressure, and that's going to help. So, this is, again, all part of the climate crisis things. Simple cold fronts, we don't get those anymore. Like simple cold fronts with a line of thunderstorms. It's like we don't get to see that anymore. We get these drawn-out affairs now. Let's, now that we talked about the rain, so it's going to be a wet day tomorrow. And as far as storms go, Storm Prediction Center, I don't think we're going to have any risk of severe weather tomorrow, but we'll go ahead and look at this. No, nothing. Nothing. There could be a thunderstorm. And again, some of these could have heavy rain with them. So let's go to the NAM. And you can see here's the NAM, and let's see how much rainfall the NAM is going to bring for us. NAM isn't quite as heavy as the HRRR, not nearly, but the NAM doesn't update as frequently. Here's the GFS. GFS, also like the HRRR, could be a lot of heavy rain tomorrow. So that's why I'm thinking I'm leaning more toward that wetter solution for tomorrow, I think. And going back to this, we'll just look at the HRRR and just go over why we're getting all this rain. If you look at the moisture in the air, so you can see there's quite a bit of moisture there in the air. The humidity comes up, and this is the wrong one. 0Z run. And you can see the winds go northwest in the evening, and that's when we'll get rid of the rain, and then we have that northwest flow on Tuesday with dew points dropping into the 50s. So it will be a much better day. And temperatures, obviously, they're not going to get that warm tomorrow. And then it will cool off, though, by Tuesday morning, probably the upper 50s. And then Tuesday should be a nice day with temperatures maybe only in the low 70s. But let's talk a little more about the long range here. And let me go back to the GFS here. So we're going to have to deal with this soaker tomorrow again. It's just because of... So before I actually do that, let me go to this. Or I think it's in here. Yeah. This kind of shows you the moisture here. So you can see that slug of moisture that's coming in here for tomorrow. See that deep green there? That's why we're going to get heavy rain. All right. So let's talk a little more about the long range. And we'll put this to the jet stream. So here's the jet stream. You can see that southerly flow of the jet stream. That's bringing the moisture in for tomorrow. And then we have a little trough coming in. You can see the jet stream's almost split. It's a real disorganized mess, as you see. And then things getting a little interesting. Next weekend, we have a low forming off the southeast coast. And that could become a tropical system, perhaps, though it doesn't look that strong. But the way the jet stream is configured, we have a blocking high, but eventually it could work its way into our area. And going through the rest of September, you could see another weirdly shaped trough there. It kind of just cuts off. So, yeah, jet stream remaining very, very disorganized on the GFS. Let's look at the 500 levels. And you see there's that trough. And by the way, that over there is Nigel. Don't have to worry about him. He'll be going out to sea. And then we have nice weather with the ridge building, and that ridge again builds up into Canada. Again, we have a big ridge in Canada. Again, this isn't going to really help. You do see a little bit of troughing on the western part, so maybe British Columbia might start getting in some rain, but still above normal conditions into Canada with that ridging and an upside down pattern again here. Kind of just really messed up. You can see it's showing more tropical systems there. So that is what the GFS looks like. Now we're going to go and look at the European. Or should I even bother? Because the European has been really people are like saying, "Oh, the European's reliable." I'm like, no, the GFS has been right for the most part. You know, it was right with Lee. You know, where the European kept bringing it closer to us. The GFS was right with that. So we'll first start with the 500 upper air, and let me change this back to the 1200 here. But I'll still, in all fairness, we show that. And here's the European, a little deeper with that trough than the GFS. And then there is that upside down pattern. Again, we have to watch for that. Again, that could be a tropical system, but we have this upside down pattern, which you can clearly see here. All right, that's developing. All right, so I'm going to go to the temperature anomaly chart now. All right, so you can see what's going to happen here with the temperatures. All right, so this week, close to normal, a little bit above, and then you can see that ridging building in Canada there. They have to go way above normal here in these areas. Canada, I'm worried about seeing more wildfire activity with these temperatures so warm in Canada. Look at this. Most of Canada is just dealing with a lot of temperatures above normal. Here's the GFS. You can see the same thing way, way above normal in Canada. Way, way above normal. So this is the concern that we have. Much of the country, and much as things above normal. And we will be above normal too, though. Not by tremendous amounts. You'll see we'll be below normal at certain times during next week. But we will go above normal again. And then it's showing some more below normal. Because we do have some troughs in the east, but we have this upside down pattern, like I said. So if we look at the total amount of rainfall that we would have here. Total accumulated precip, you'll see what happens. It stays rather dry in Canada. That's not good. You can see that. It stays rather dry. And that is the problem. So wildfire situation in Canada isn't going to get better anytime soon, basically. So let's go to look at the surface now. So at the surface, after this low soaks us tomorrow, we'll have beautiful weather tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. It'll stay dry. Here's this tropical system here that develops off the southeast coast. Could be a tropical depression, maybe even a tropical storm. But we have the high that's blocking it in, so it's not going to be able to go out to sea, but it's just going to get forced in over land, over the Carolinas, and then that rain from that could wind up hitting us sometime on the weekend, Sunday perhaps. So, yeah, more rain for us, though at least we'll get a week without it, and then we'll get more rain. And then as we head into next week, you see kind of a sucky pattern develop here. High pressure, but it's kind of wedging in east flow. And, yeah, sucky pattern with rain chances to end September. And then as you get in October, maybe another big high would build down there. All right. Let's go to the European. Look at the surface on the European. Again, I'm curious to see what the European does. Of course, the European is a little quicker with the storm, and I don't know, for whatever reason, it looks like it wants to form something right over here. I don't know if I'm buying that, but if the European is right, we have a sucky weekend with more rain chances. And then we get that, whatever that depression is coming up there, up into our area. And so, yeah, enjoy this nice week, because once this week is over, we're going to have a certain period of some really crappy weather with more rain, with constant rain chances and lots of more rain. But the rain isn't falling where it's needed, which is in Canada, where those wildfires are burning. So now that we did that, we'll go ahead and look at GFS here, and we'll take a look at what this week looks like up ahead. So obviously, once we get this front through, we have beautiful weather. You can see northwest winds Tuesday, Wednesday, dry, low humidity. North winds continue Thursday, and then it becomes easterly on Friday, and then we have that easterly flow. And this again would be the concern, that we have to watch this depression here that could become something. We're going to have to watch that. All right. Here we are Saturday. We got the east wind, and then you can see as we get into the week after, we're going to be playing with stall front syndrome and moisture and plenty of rain chances in that. So again, enjoy this week. Temperatures. So here we are, temperatures. They do warm up as we get towards Wednesday. You see, you got some mid-70s in the picture. mid 70s, mid 70s. So it's about close to average. You can see the heat isn't really going to be over us. You can see the heat is over the Midwest there. All right. And then as we get toward the weekend with the clouds, that east flow to keep us rather on the cool and damp side with that east flow and the rain chances. If we take this out to the country here, which I'll show you here in a moment here, I want to show you the North American view on the temperatures, which I usually don't do, but I just want to show you that it stays rather warm in Canada. You can see 70s, maybe even close to 80. I mean, it just stays very warm up there. You can see that. So you can see there's a little bit of heat up right there, but we kind of gets stuck. You can see. All right, so you can see where the heat is, generally speaking. I mean, but it's still dealing with heat. Here Friday, you're still going to be dealing with heat in a lot of the Midwest. So back to our area again. Let's go look at the skies and first start with the clouds here. So let's start with this here for, again, tomorrow we're going to have plenty of clouds. Tuesday should be mostly sunny. Wednesday, mostly sunny, maybe a few clouds here and there. Thursday, see, it's trying to form something there too. Thursday should have mostly sunny skies. Friday, we're on the northern periphery of that cirrus, and then that cirrus could get in on us on Saturday. And then Saturday, we'd have to worry about, again, this system here. All right. It's a ways out, obviously, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. RGEM. Let's go to the RGEM next. So here's the RGEM, and you can see here tomorrow we're pretty much going to stay stuck in the clouds much of the day. And then for Tuesday, mostly sunny conditions. Wednesday, we'll also have mostly sunny conditions, so we'll have a good stretch of weather to enjoy, and I suggest you do just that before the sucky weather returns. And again, it's going to be a lot of it, a lot of rain to come as we deal with another bout of stall front syndrome as we get later into the month. So let's go to the smoke model next. 21Z RAP. So here's the smoke model, and you can see no smoke tomorrow. You see there's a lot of smoke in Canada, though. And for Tuesday, no smoke as well, but eventually maybe that smoke might work its way here, but we'll have to see what happens with that. Eventually we may have to deal with it. It looks like it's way up in Canada, though, and that may be where it winds up staying because of the way the jet stream is. We're not really seeing a big, dip in the jet stream to bring it down. But still, a lot of smoke, for sure. So let's look at the Climate Prediction Center outlook now. The 6 to 10 day outlook. So they do have us above normal a little bit, but in the Great Lakes, they really have it above normal. Precipitation also is above normal. All right. And then on the 8 to 14 day, above normal temperatures and above normal precipitation as well. So, yeah, kind of sucks, but that's what they have. And again, so let's lastly go look at, as we always do every Sunday, the state of the ice. See if they have a new update on this here. So rounding the curve. So this is your Arctic sea ice extent. It's very low, not the minimum, not the lowest on record, but as you can see, there's a lot of thin ice up there. All right, both Arctic and Antarctic ice appear to be heading toward their respective seasonal limits, reaching the lowest extent at the end of the summer in the north and the highest extent as winter ends in the south. So retreat of the Arctic ice has been, again, there's this is very low. This blue here is very thin ice here, so you only really have a little area of thick ice over here. So that's the concern that we have, and that's why we see that variability with the jet stream that we have. And Greenland is even doing worse than that. Find Greenland in here. I got to go back here. I think I hit the back button here. So Greenland obviously has had a late season melt spike again. So very strong weather pattern from August 21 to 24 is called widespread melting. Of course, Greenland is unusually late summer melt event was caused by high and low air pressure configuration known as an omega pattern. So this is pretty bad. So if we go look at this chart here, you'll see the melt percentage. We're way above the median here. So Greenland has seen a lot of melting. So we're continuing to see these are the things that are causing the climate crisis. When the Arctic warms and the Arctic warms faster than the tropics, the energy for the jet stream gets less and less and less. And that's why you see these very unusual and very abnormal jet stream patterns. And it's only going to get crazier. So, on that note, I'll wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching and have a good night.